So this video is on my settlement on Spectacle Island. The design idea was mostly to do a medieval style castle looking thing, similar to, the actual, where is it over there? The castle settlement. But that's more of a fortress than an actual castle. I wanted something that, kind of more represented the medieval style of castle development, where you start with a large house and a village grows around that, and then things kind of just expand organically from that with walls and those sorts of things. And the idea was kind of like the Castle of York, where it was really crowded and clustered and really kind of um, just small and packed together. But then I looked at the island and all the space was on it and realized there's nobody that's going to be attacking me here. I don't have to crowd everything inside the walls of the settlement, and I really don't want to put walls around the entire island. So since I don't have to worry about it, why not turn it into more of like an estate, like a manor house? So that's kind of what we started with. Obviously, here's the entrance. I've got turrets and guard posts guarding it and using the concrete blocks for walls. I have a bunch of mods that I've used to add more crafting options. Things, like this gateway here and this different type of door. These, where are they at? The Jersey barriers that I'm using as kind of a fence line on along, because these are just flat flooring, so we need some kind of crenellation wall sort of looking thing for the castle walls. And I didn't want to use the wood ones because, well, they're always used. Everybody uses them for everything, and they kind of get the overused look. And I wanted a consistent concrete look to it. Another one of the mods included ramps. Basically took floor tiles and tilted them, which is really helpful. So I don't have to use, the stairs and the ladders all the time when they're not always effective and don't always want to work. So we've got the wall going all the way around the manor estate, and you can see I've got varying levels as the ground level changes, and guard posts and turrets. I don't have a high enough population to actually have a lot of guards in here. Most of my settlement population, because this is still fairly new, so most of them are over in the village area doing the farming and scrap collecting and that sort of thing. And I've tried to vary the height of these guard towers to kind of simulate a little bit the different towers you'd find on maybe a castle wall or something like this, and try to follow the shape of the land as much as possible to make it look kind of natural. Like, if somebody was actually going to be building this is where they would build. They would build it along these rocks here because that's a natural defensive position. It's hard to climb up those walls. And all the way around here, making the complete circuit around the manor estate. I'm just getting stuck on things. There's my water supply over there, and it goes all the way back again to that ruined house and the gate on the other side. I really did not want to go all the way down to the coastline because that would just be too crazy. There's too much stuff in the way, and it wouldn't be natural. Again, I've tried to make most of the settlements that I've designed, I've tried to make them look as normal, and this is how it would be if you were actually in this situation and you were going to build something. This is how you would build it, where you would build, the kind of stuff you would use. I designed them to try and be as functional as possible. So over here we get the settlement, the village for my settlers. It's kind of a shanty town. I wanted it to look really slapdash, patched together, uneven, sort of something you might find like in some, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean pirate village sort of thing. Just kind of all different levels, walkways connecting different things. This is again where the settlers live and work. Here's the farm with the food, the mut fruit, mute fruit, however you want to say it. And the plan was to make it as enclosed as possible without using walls, to kind of do from the west with the wagons, the circle of the wagons against the Indian attack sort of thing. kind of keeping things in a circle where everything's facing in, so that if anything were to attack, it would have to come all the way around and come into this middle section here before it could actually get into the buildings, and that would create a natural field of fire for a killing zone. So while there aren't any walls and there's no turrets, it is actually designed with some type of defense. And it's actually, I haven't had any attacks here, but on Abernathy Farm, where you have that already built farmhouse built into the giant power pylon thing, I did not put any walls in that, and it's one of the few settlements I haven't put walls up. And all I did was basically put a bunch of turrets around the outside top of the building, the farmhouse at Abernathy, and left everything open, so that when anybody does attack, there are, no matter what direction they come from, there's turrets facing that way, and all the villagers can run that way and direct their fire. So it actually became an open defense where everything was open, meaning that you could shoot all sorts of different directions no matter which way they came. A lot of my other settlements do have walls on them, and I do limit the approaches to gates that are generally decently guarded, but this one I kind of like the idea of, this is the villagers, they made their own little town. Their job is to work my fields, because I'm the governor of the Commonwealth. At least I elected myself to be governor of the Commonwealth, which is why I have my own little mansion. um, I do have a settlement and everything built over at the castle. That's kind of like my military headquarters. That really is my headquarters. I've got all my crafting station and supplies are stored there. This is something I did just kind of for fun because it's here. I wanted to see, what I could do and how creative it could be. So I started with this building here, which is basically the bunkhouse. It's a standard block, two-story, open floor plan, nothing but beds and footlockers. This was originally built over by the ruined house out in the sand dunes out there when I first started building, because that's kind of, remember my plan was, the whole crowded, clustered together, huddled behind the walls of the castle, medieval look to it. And when I changed my mind, I moved it out here, and I moved this whole thing to be behind this hill over here. So it's kind of out of sight. Not completely out of sight, but kind of. Because, I'm the lord of the castle, and I don't want my view to be ruined by some raggedy little shanty town with a bunch of peasants. So they're off in their own little corner. And from here, I've got these raggedy little walkways going out. This here is their workroom with all their, crates of supplies and barrels and tools and jacks and those sorts of things. Second floor is scavenging stations, work tables, and the work manager's little office desk supply area. And nobody really comes up here except for the scavengers, but it's, all for looks, decoration. It looks cool. Kind of the plan of this place was to make it as uneven and slapped together looking as possible. So you notice like this main building here is down low, so that the top level actually goes into like a middle level here, or the top level of the bunkhouse comes into the bottom level of this one. So everything's at different levels, which gives it kind of a disheveled look. So again, coming from the bunkhouse, top floor, another walkway comes into this. Again, everything opens to the center. It's supposed to help my workers move around, but they have pathing issues where if you make things too complicated, they can't find the path route to get to where they need to go. So like there's supposed to be somebody here, but they're stuck somewhere. They're lost. This is the general store. And if you remember that old song, 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older, deeper in debt. I owe my soul to the company store. This is the company store. I can't put stuff on the shelves to stock it because for some reason there's object collision issues where you put stuff on the shelf and you come back later and they've been falling through and falling through and falling through. So yeah, it's hard to actually put stuff on shelves to make it stay to where it looks like, you're stocking shelves. But yeah, so my workers, I pay them to do work, and then they come here to buy their necessities from me, so I get the money back. Now, this place, the bunkhouse, when I placed it right next to the outhouse, which is already pre-built and you can't scrap it, and it just looks cool anyways. I wouldn't want to, although I'd love to be able to get those skeletons out of there. They're kind of a pain in the butt. We don't need them in there. But it was, rather fortuitous placement because, hey, there's the bunkhouse, there's the outhouse. They need to do their business. They don't have to go very far. But, we are trying to rebuild civilization. This is my manor estate, so there are standards of cleanliness besides just, using an outhouse. So in order to keep my workers as clean as possible, down here at the basement level of the store are the men's and women's, behind these magical sliding doors, bathhouses. So you got a little locker room for changing and some bathtubs for washing, and both sides are pretty much the same. And there's, a wall in between, and each has their own private door, so there is privacy. We do have, expectations of modesty. And from here, we get the recreation area. And again, here's a bookshelf. I would really love to be able to put like the burnt books and the overdue books and those sorts of things in here to represent reading material, so they can have like a little reading section here. But it will only let me put the magazines that you collect. I'm going to try to see if I can get, like, there's burnt magazines, burnt comics that you can get at the Hubris headquarters or comic store or whatever. See if I can put those in there. But otherwise, the only thing this will let me put in here are the regular magazines that I collect for all the different skills and perks and whatever, and I'm not going to put them here. I'm collecting those and putting them in my room over at the castle. So, yeah, right now they don't get anything. Just imagine there's something there. So then you have the hang out, socialize, watch TV section. You've got a bar, and again, there's supposed to be somebody here, but they're probably lost and stuck somewhere. With some booths for hanging out and sitting and chatting. Stereo with radio, little dance floor area. So, I'm not a total evil dictator person. I do take care of my people. They don't get the best of everything, but, there's still some quality of life here, better than you would find in most other places. And, of course, pictures of puppies. Hey.
Crops coming in pretty good.
Crops are coming in pretty good. Great, why don't you go work on them? And over here, again, top floor of one building leads to the main floor of the next one. So everything's at a different level, all coming together in a really kind of haphazard sort of way. And this is the main dining area where they have their main meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This isn't, like the bar area. This is the actual kitchen and dining room area. And opens up, again, to this center quad courtyard area. So everything comes, focuses in here, points this direction. No way to get into any of those buildings except from this side. So, and again, like I said, I put it on this side of the hill, so it's mostly out of the way, and it's all powered by, oops, where is it over on the other side? That boat over there, which has the generator in it that runs up to that speaker system, which has that wonderful sound that drives all the mirelurks away. So on this island, there's actually nothing you have to worry about. There's no way that the super mutants or the gunners or raiders can get to you because you got all this water in the way. They can't get across that. And the only thing that can get to you would be the mirelurks, but you have that driving them away. So you're really safe here. So let's say, okay, here's our settlers shantytown on one side of the hill. Come up over onto the other side of the hill, and here's my estate. Walled in with the castle walls and all the guard towers, turrets. Again, like I said, I tried to vary the different sizes to represent like castle turrets. So I've got the small ones and the big ones, the small ones and big ones. And it generally tries to follow the lay of the land, the most defensive, without going too far and too crazy and covering the entire island sort of thing. This is the servants' entrance. I originally had a gate like I had on the other side, but that gate has some issues with the NPCs. The settlers cannot, for some reason, find their way through it. even though it's an open gateway, it's got a door. Their pathing routine just doesn't work with it. I don't know why. So I had to replace it with this. It's not the best. As you can see, here's this guy just standing around doing
Don't
nothing.
much care for good neighbor. That place is nothing
But
but
they can
trouble.
still go in through this, so it still works. One of the things I've noticed is that as you make things too big and too complicated, you have too much stuff, too many stairs, too many doors, whatever. If there's too much for them to have to get to from point A to point B, they can't handle it, and they just get stuck and sit there. I have trees. One of the mods that I got, in addition to all the other crafting stuff like the jersey barriers and different doors and different furniture, one of them was including trees. And my reasoning for this is that I have elected myself or named myself governor, benevolent dictator, whatever you want to call it, of the Commonwealth. I'm already general of, the Minutemen, even though as a general I'm going around doing all the grunt work when I should be in an office ordering everybody else. So this to me is my governor's mansion. The castle that I have my own building in, my own room, headquarters in, that's going to be like my military headquarters, like the Pentagon. So as governor of the Commonwealth, or whatever you want to call me, king, that sounds cool, I decided that I was going to rescue the few remaining living trees in the Commonwealth and bring them here to my estate for protection. Now, of course, they also happen to provide a natural way of blocking the view of things that I don't want to look at, such as raggedy little shanty towns, because that's just terrible to look at when you're a governor. You don't want to look at junk like that. You want to look at pretty things. So they're strategically placed to block the view of that shanty town over there. And I've got these ones over here that are also strategically placed to block the view of that ruined house that I can't get rid of. I can't scrap it, and it's just there. So here's the inside. And again, here's the main gate. There's the docks where people come in. I don't have enough people to man the guard posts yet. So and again, the plan for this was to make it kind of a manor house, kind of a mansion sort of thing. So I wanted like a main house with multiple wings coming off of it, and that's pretty much the result of it so far. This over here is mostly shops. One of these days, if they ever figure out a way to be able to put things onto shelves and have them stay there, I'm actually going to extend this, expand it, and turn like the upper floor into a library. Over here is my garage, and this is the main house with everything. You can see here I've got spotlights covering the main entrance at night. It looks really cool when the spotlights are on and they're shining on all these statues and the pillars with their fire. It looks really, really neat. This is the main floor. This is like the audience chamber, my place. They don't really have a throne, so that's like the best thing I could find to simulate kind of a throne room sort of looking thing. Seats for all the people that want to come do business with me and talk to me. They can sit and wait. Got the flags of all the different organizations I'm part of. I don't have the institute yet because even though I'm level 69 and I've explored most of the map, I actually have not done little more than half of the actual plot. I've just found the guy who was, let me see, where is it? I just found the guy who kidnapped my son and killed him, and now I'm at the point of going to the glowing sea to find Virgil. I haven't even found the institute yet. So that's how far I am in the story. But this is how much I've explored. And these are all the settlements that I have. Some of them I haven't actually built anything on because they're too small. Or this one, I just actually got it. So, not... Yeah, I didn't do anything with Red Rocket. It was just nothing there. I was like, nah, it's too awkward. And it was the beginning of the game. I didn't know enough about building things, so I didn't build anything there. I might go back later and build a settlement there. I don't know. So I got lots and lots of places. And of course, everything's connected by supply lines. Some of them more than one, because the original person I sent out to go do it didn't do their job, and I had to go find somebody else, and eventually got around to it, so yeah, they doubled up. Like, the slog has 21 people. That's funny. So, again, this is my main... What are you doing here? You're supposed to be working. Go to work!
One that ends without an empty stomach.
This is the main floor. From the main floor, you have this, which leads down here to this wing, which has the stores in it. Again, I don't have enough people to man the stores. And whoever designed these didn't really think about it, and they made these apparently to be outside. They didn't design these to be inside because they're too tall. The sides of them cut into the roof and go up to the next floor, which looks really silly. But, you know, what can you do? So I've got my stores here. And like I said, if they ever figure out a way to make shelves that can hold things, this will actually turn into a library. And I'll just expand this out and put all the stores down here. So back to the main floor. Over on the other side, through this doorway, is this little hallway. It's got a back door to it. And this that leads to my garage, which we'll get to a little bit later. So, from the main floor, we come back here to the stairs and the state dining room. This is where, obviously, I would have, you know, those formal dinners with dignitaries and politicians and other people that matter that I want to impress. So nice dining room, lots of pretty pictures, stylish lights, fancy, completely undamaged pre-war kitchen refrigerator area. From here, up this set of, there you go, up this set of stairs and this set of stairs are two guest rooms. Sparsely furnished, but they're there. And each of them has a stairwell that leads up to the next floor, so they have their own private little stairwell to the next level. Now, originally, when I built the castle, I did not do a lot of good thinking and planning ahead, and essentially the main floor of my castle building has like a, you know, kind of a meeting room, and then the second floor is my main bedroom living area, and then above that is the dining room, and above that's the rec area. So people have to go through my room to get to the dining room and the recreation area. And that was kind of the way this was with these stairs. To get up to the next level was you had to go through the guest quarters, which I thought was kind of, you know, invading people's privacy. You have to go tromping through the guest quarters up to get up to the fourth floor. So that wasn't working. I decided to build these stairs here so you go straight from the restaurant up here to the next floor. This I call the promenade because that's pretty much all it is. It's just a great big walkway with an awesome view. You can look out, see my pretty forest, see the estate lands out there, my artillery piece, because, you know, what's a fortress without artillery? My castle walls out there. And then we can come around this way to the backside. Ocean view, look out there to the airport and Boston itself. And, oh, look at you. What are you doing here, farmer? Why are you not farming? And the backside looking out to the ocean. And from the promenade, we can come up these back steps here to the main recreation floor with the pool tables. You got a dance floor with the sparkly lights that aren't running right now because they need to be reset. Seats for anybody to hang out and chill, check out the nice view, or just watch other people. So this is the main public areas, the rec room, the dining room, the promenade deck. My room is a little bit more interesting to get to. Back down here in the dining room, we got this stairwell that's coming up from the main floor, which is, you know, my audience chamber office area. And as you come up, there's this, ooh, a bookcase that opens. Dun, da, 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 secret door to a secret stairwell, which opens up to this secret hallway to another secret stairwell. This is actually that little hidden area walled off on the promenade. So on the other side of this is the walkway with the railings. And it leads to this elevator, which is one of those things I got from one of the many mods that I have. The guy who made it loves teddy bears. He's also got another one where he makes drawbridges that extend out and down, and he's got little teddy bears on those that are like the drawbridge keepers, those sort of things. So it's fun, it's cute. So turn on the elevator, and dun da da da. Originally I did have stairs, but that was before I found the mod for the elevator, and once I found the mod for the elevator, I was like, oh, that's too cool, I've got to put that in there instead of the stairs. Because all those farmers and settlers and everybody else, they can open doors and they can climb stairs, so they can get, if they wanted to, all the way up to here. But they cannot activate things like this. So even though they could get to this point, they could never turn this on to come all the way up here. So this is my room, and nobody else can get here but me. So here's my bed, storage, comfy chair, TV watching area. Oops. I have a nice enclosed private bathroom with toilet, shower, and sink. And I did intentionally use this sloppy wall because it has built-in ventilation, and this is a bathroom. The last thing you want is really high quality sealed walls and all the nasty smells from your bathroom coming out here into the bedroom. So yep, ventilation, very important. Jukebox, and from here I go up to my own private little viewing deck where I can watch over my entire estate. Got barbecue place. It's, you know, it wouldn't be an island fortress without cannon, so I've got some cannon. I put these guys up here just for fun. So like, you know, imagine somebody's out there, and they're looking out there saying, what is that place? And they see these guys up here through their, you know, binoculars or scopes or whatever. So they're like, oh, look at those guards up there. No, they're not really guards. They just for looks. I will eventually have guards down there, but yeah, they're just for looks and for fun. And Christmas trees because it's Christmas time and colorful. Look at Gingerbread Man. How cute. Okay, so that's the main house. Next up is going to be the garage.
Yes?
No. So there is a hallway that goes to the garage, but it's much more impressive if you come out here and look at it. Isn't that big? Isn't that cool? Look at that. Oh, yes. And yeah, the ramps, really love that. The guy who made the mod for this, awesome. Good job. Really, really useful, because if it hadn't been for these, this totally would not have worked, because the only thing I could have used would have been steps, and that would have looked terrible. And there is no land out here that is flat enough, and I wanted it to be a wing, in other words, connected to the side of the main house. It wouldn't have worked if I stuck it way out here in the sand dunes. So it had to be beside the house. So this is the only way it would have worked. And so, yeah, ramps, awesome. So here's my garage. Pre-war, restored, undamaged motorcycle, tank, sports car, and this funny little scooter thing. I don't know what it is, but it's cute. Thought it looked funny. And yeah, there's the garage. This is the main floor, and you know, being a garage, you have to have, you know, like tools and stuff. So there's tool chest, tables, tool rack, crates of things, a jack, a dolly, counters and cupboards, and more tools. And up here, because I had to make it 2 stories high to fit the tank in, and because it looks cool that way. More work here. I've got crafting stations, as you can see, along with more cosmetic boxes and crates and dollies and tool boards, and it's all for looks. I don't actually use this. My stuff over at the castle, that's my main crafting headquarters area. That's where I put everything. This is just for fun. And up here, as we've already seen, the vertibird, because vertibirds are cool and it looks impressive. And, you know, I'm the governor of this land, so I have to have my own private vertibird. I actually have 2, because I got another one over at the castle. So, that's my estate. It took, I don't know, like a week, over a week to build this, design it. I didn't really design it, I didn't like draw it out on paper or anything, just kind of came up with an idea of what I wanted to look like and started slapping stuff together, moving stuff around until I got things pretty much how I wanted it to look. And there we go. And that's it.